What if the greatest form of control is the one you never notice? What if the world around you no longer needs to force you, threaten you, or command you, because it has already learned something far more powerful: how to guide your attention? Most people believe their attention belongs to them. They believe they choose what they watch, what they read, what they think about. It feels natural to believe this. After all, attention seems simple. You look at something because you want to. You stop looking when you no longer care. But look carefully at the modern world. Screens everywhere. Voices everywhere. Notifications appearing at every moment. Every platform competing for one thing: your focus. Because attention has become the most valuable currency of the modern world. And wherever something becomes valuable, competition follows. Millions of systems, millions of signals, all designed to capture just a few more seconds of your mind. Most people move through this environment without noticing the battle. But long ago, quiet observers of human behavior understood something important. They understood that the human mind can be guided without force, without commands, without resistance. So they wrote warnings, not about kings, not about armies, but about attention. Those warnings were written on an ancient scroll. A scroll describing the subtle signs that appear when a person's attention is no longer fully their own. Today, we unroll that scroll, because once these signs are seen, they cannot be unseen. And the first sign written on that scroll is something almost everyone experiences every day: the endless scroll. You open your phone for a simple reason. Maybe to check a message, maybe to look at something quickly. Just a moment, just a glance. But something strange happens. The content never ends. One video becomes another. One post becomes the next. The screen never tells you this is enough. Instead, it quietly invites you to continue. Just one more. Just one more. The mind becomes curious. Maybe the next piece will be more interesting. Maybe the next one will be better. Minutes pass. Then more minutes. Sometimes much more. And when you finally stop, a strange realization appears. You were not searching for anything, yet something kept you there, holding your attention longer than you ever planned. The second sign written on the scroll is constant interruption. A sound, a vibration, a small red icon. Each one seems harmless, but every notification does something important. It breaks your attention. A thought disappears. A moment of focus dissolves. The mind must start again. At first, this seems small. But imagine trying to read a book while someone taps your shoulder every 30 seconds. Eventually, concentration becomes impossible. The mind adapts. Instead of focusing deeply, it begins expecting interruption. Attention becomes fragmented. Thoughts become shorter, and deep focus slowly fades. The third sign is the illusion of multitasking. Modern life praises people who can do many things at once. Watching something while replying to messages, working while checking updates, listening while scrolling. It feels efficient. It feels productive. But the brain does not truly multitask. It switches, rapidly moving from one task to another. Every switch requires the mind to pause, reorient, and begin again. When this happens constantly, thinking becomes shallow. You feel busy, but rarely fully present. The mind learns to live on the surface of things. Depth disappears. The fourth sign written on the scroll is discomfort with silence. Try something simple. Sit quietly for a few minutes. No phone, no music, no screen, just silence. For many people, this feels uncomfortable. The mind immediately searches for stimulation, something to fill the empty space. But silence was once natural. Silence allowed thoughts to settle. Silence allowed ideas to grow. Silence allowed the mind to see clearly. When silence becomes difficult, it often means the mind has become dependent on noise. The fifth sign is shrinking attention. Have you noticed how difficult it can feel to focus for long periods? Reading slowly, listening deeply, thinking carefully about an idea. The mind drifts. It searches for something faster, something easier, something new. This is not weakness. It is adaptation. The brain adapts to the environment it experiences, and when the environment is filled with rapid stimulation, the mind begins craving speed. Patience fades, depth fades, and attention becomes shorter. The sixth sign written on the scroll is the quiet fear of missing something. You checked your phone not because something happened, but because something might have happened. A message, an update, a notification you have not seen yet. This small anxiety keeps your attention partially connected to the digital world, even when you are doing something else. Part of your mind is always waiting, always checking, always returning. And without realizing it, your attention never fully rests. The seventh sign is the disappearance of still moments. There was a time when waiting was normal. Standing in line, walking alone, sitting quietly, moments without stimulation. Now those moments rarely stay empty. The phone appears, the scroll begins, silence disappears, and slowly, the mind forgets how to simply exist within a moment. But stillness is powerful. It is where clarity appears. It is where ideas are born. Without stillness, reflection becomes rare. The eighth sign written on the scroll is invisible guidance. Modern systems are not neutral. They observe, they analyze behavior. They learn what captures attention, what makes you pause, what makes you return. Over time, the system becomes better at predicting what you will watch next, what you will click, what will hold your focus longer. Content begins shaping itself around your attention, and slowly, your attention begins following paths designed by something else. The ninth sign is quiet mental exhaustion. You spend hours absorbing information, videos, news, posts, opinions. At the end of the day, your mind feels tired, not because you worked deeply, but because your attention has been pulled in too many directions. The brain never had time to process what it absorbed. It simply moved from one stimulus to another, without pause, without reflection, and the mind becomes full, but not clear. The 10th and final sign written on the scroll is the loss of deep thinking. When attention becomes fragmented, the mind struggles to stay with complex ideas. Thoughts become shorter, reflection becomes shallow, but deep thinking requires something rare in the modern world: time, silence, undivided attention. Without these things, thinking becomes reactive. You respond to whatever appears in front of you, instead of exploring ideas deeply. And when deep thinking disappears, true understanding becomes rare. The ancient scroll ends with a warning: guard your attention, because attention is not just focus. It is the doorway to your thoughts, your perception, your choices. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is constantly pulled toward noise and distraction, life begins to feel scattered. But when attention becomes intentional, something powerful happens. Clarity returns, thoughts deepen, moments become richer. The war for your attention will not disappear. The modern world will continue competing for it every day. But the moment you begin to see the system clearly, something changes. You notice the distractions. You notice the impulses. You notice the silent forces pulling your mind away. And slowly, your attention returns to you. The scroll closes, but its warning remains. Guard your attention, because those who control their attention control their mind. And those who control their mind cannot easily be controlled by the world around them. If this message reached you, it means awareness has already begun. And awareness is where freedom starts. Subscribe to Silent Guardian, because the scroll holds many more warnings, and the next one may change the way you see the world.